Welcome back to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast, powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition. At HSN, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping you become the best and healthiest version of yourself isn't just about what you eat or going to the gym a few hours a week. We have to look at a holistic approach, addressing nutrition, stress management, mindset, sleep, support system, and of course, lifestyle. My name is Nicole Aucoin, and I'm the founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, home of CrossFit HSN and HSN Mentoring. Today's podcast guest is one of our hormone specialists and registered dietitians here at Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ. We are talking about a popular topic around hormone health and menopause. We're going to be addressing some of the key things that we see with clients that are in this stage of life. For instance, addressing some of the missing pieces of the puzzle that are causing people to struggle with losing weight. Amanda's going to talk a little bit about how she works with clients, and she's going to give a few different client scenarios that have happened with clients that have done an absolutely amazing job. And guess what? It's not what you think. Super excited for Amanda to share her insight with this population and how she works with these clients and give you some simple tips that you can take action on right now. We will get to this episode right after this message. Did you know that Healthy Steps Nutrition has a hormone specialty program? In this program, our registered dietitians and certified nutrition coaches work with clients to figure out exactly what they need to do to take the results to the next level. Amanda's going to talk a little bit about the program today, but if you are interested in getting a personalized nutrition coach, a guide to walk alongside you, to give you a plan, and most importantly, keep you accountable, click the link in the show notes and apply for coaching today. This is not a program that's just at our Healthy Steps Nutrition location. We have hundreds of gyms that have partnered with HSN to help them empower health in their communities. And quite a few of those nutrition coaches are certified in hormone health too. So click the link in the show notes to find a Healthy Steps Nutrition coach near you that specializes in hormone health, or to work with us directly here at Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ. All right, enjoy this podcast with Amanda Haar. Amanda, welcome back to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. So excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm pumped to be back with you, Nicole.
We are talking about your favorite subject of all today, hormone health, and specifically around menopause. You've been doing a lot of stuff on the HSN mentoring side with developing nutrition coaches and really addressing this piece of the puzzle because it's becoming a really popular topic. How nutrition coaches can help support people that are going through menopause, premenopause, perimenopause, this stage of life.
Right. And, you think about it, right? A lot of the people in the baby boomers era are, either in perimenopause or have, passed on to menopause. So there's a large percentage of our population who's dealing with this right now. And specifically thinking about, our nutrition coaches who are working in gyms. When women are at this stage of their lives, they have a little more availability and flexibility to join communities like gyms. So this is why we're seeing this a lot more with our nutrition coaches and also at with the population at large.
You specialize in this area. You have such a passion, which trickles down to everyone that you meet, that they just want to learn more and more. You're currently creating a master class that's going to be launching in just a couple of weeks for the Healthy Steps Nutrition certified coaches. But I thought this would be a fun time to have a conversation for just the general public addressing nutrition, menopause, and weight loss. Can we dive on in?
Let's do it.
All right. First and foremost, what's big picture here? Why is it tougher for people in menopause to lose weight?
Right. So let's think about it. First of all, what are our hormones doing during this phase? So basically during perimenopause, which is basically the 2 to 12 years before a woman's cycle ends, hormones start fluctuating up and down, right? So there's no consistency. Typically in a regular cycle, we see estrogen rise in the first half, and then, a spike of estrogen and testosterone to do ovulation, and then a rise of progesterone to the menstrual cycle. During perimenopause, sometimes cycles shorten, they get heavier, they're super inconsistent, and you might have estrogen skyrocketing one day and plummeting the next day. This is where we see a lot of the destabilization of the HPA axis, which is basically our stress management system in the body, and also low progesterone. So you think about, okay, what are the impacts of those on women during this phase? Well, for a lot of women, they get very disrupted sleep. We need sleep in order to control our food cravings, in order to manage our stress levels, in order to, exercise, right? It's really hard to get up for a 6 a.m. workout if you haven't had very good sleep during the night. They're also dealing with high cortisol, high stress levels during this time because of our low progesterone levels. And you think about also, the phase of life that women are in right during this time. A lot of them have children maybe still at home, teenagers, or maybe just out of the house. A lot of them are at the height of their careers, so they have a lot of responsibilities there. And a lot of them are also helping with aging parents. So you think about, okay, the hormones are a challenge during this time, but then we put this slew of life responsibilities on top of it. And it can be really, really hard to manage, our just day-to-day healthy lifestyle.
That makes complete sense, especially if we're not sleeping. And lack of sleep impacts every aspect, from food cravings to how you feel satisfied or not after meals. Jason and I recently went to a tennis tournament that was hosted by one of your nutrition clients who's done amazing. I'm sure we'll share some of the things that she's worked on. Danielle and her husband joined the gym, and they've been doing an amazing job with nutrition coaching. But all of the women that were coming through and doing in-body scans and talking to us about nutrition were all in this stage. And they're like, yeah, that's great that you offer nutrition, but are you going to be able to help me? It's tougher for me to lose weight, and I really need something that is catered to the stage of life that I'm in. And I thought it would be fun for us to next kind of go into what are some of the missing pieces of the puzzle? So like all those women that were coming to us and they're like, hey, I'm in menopause, I'm going through menopause right now, or I'm post-menopause. What are some of the missing pieces of the puzzle for those women that are inhibiting them from seeing good results?
Yeah, 100%. And this is where I love to start with, setting expectations, right? So with hormonal issues, right? Like we're not going to see instant results, nor do we see instant results with most people, right? If they're doing a consistent lifestyle. What our healthy weight might have been 30 years ago may or may not be healthy for us now. So research actually shows that women, when they're below 20% body fat, have a tougher time with symptoms throughout perimenopause. So I think this is like one first thing to really start with, what are helpful and healthful recommendations right now, and where are your goals? Of course, there's no magic pill, but what we've really seen with our clients is having consistency with lifestyle changes can be so powerful. And this is where a lot of times when people are saying, okay, like I'm doing all the things, are we really doing all the things? And we like to work with the holistic framework with HSN, right? So like, let's address sleep, social support, nutrition, exercise, hydration, all the things that we really need in order to see those results, and doing them consistently. Because you're right, during this phase, and especially during post-menopause, we have very low estrogen levels, and this can make us more insulin resistant, which is why women going through the perimenopausal and menopausal stages start to see more adipose tissue, around their waist area.
Let's talk about blood sugar balance for a minute, because I think, most people don't think about blood sugar balance or how to manage blood sugar, even prevention of consistently high blood sugar, until they are told by their doctor that they have diabetes or prediabetes. And there are some simple tips that you can do to help stabilize and manage your blood sugar. It really comes down to consistent carbohydrate intake and not having too much carbs at one time. And what are you doing before and after you eat? Going for a simple 15-minute walk will help to stabilize your blood sugar. Pairing protein, carbs, and fats also really helps to stabilize your blood sugar. That's one of the reasons why we talk a lot about the plate method. Half of our plate vegetables, quarter protein, quarter starches. What are some of the other things that you work with clients in regards to blood sugar balance?
Yeah. And a couple of recommendations that I do more specifically for this population is, what is your balance between protein and carbohydrates? Because we find that for women who are struggling with the more insulin resistance of this hormonal phase are going to see a lot more results if they're having more protein than carbohydrates, and also considering their type of carbohydrates that they're consuming. So a lot of women go too low on their protein intake. There's all sorts of perspectives on nutrition these days. And we find that, some women are scared of building muscle, but muscle is what actually is going to help lower insulin resistance and help support our metabolism. So having a good balance between protein and carbohydrates is going to be really helpful fuel for that. And another one that is too common is having too little fiber. So fiber, as we know, is really, really important for our gut health, and proper gut health is really important to not having excess bad estrogen levels circulating around in the body too. So it all kind of comes full circle. Of course, a lot of things in nutrition are important during this phase, but the protein and the fiber and the quality of carbohydrates are some of our top contenders of things to address typically.
You mentioned something, and I just want to go back to it. You talked about the importance of building muscle and women being scared. I'm going to get bulky. You're not going to get bulky. I promise. There's a book by Gabrielle Line that's really great called Forever Strong. And she talks a lot about muscle being the organ of longevity. And ultimately, you can't build muscle if you don't have enough protein. And I know this is a common theme with a lot of the women that you work with in this stage, that they think they're getting enough protein, or maybe they have a protein shake after their workout, but overall throughout the day, they're not getting enough protein to meet their needs, especially if they're doing CrossFit or doing, a more strenuous type of exercise. Let's talk about some specific examples. Like, give me some client scenarios that you have. I think of Claudia, one of our members at the gym that, oh my gosh, I absolutely love her. She's such a breath of fresh air, and she's been a member of our gym for a while. She's super active. She's a nurse. And I remember her asking me at one point, like, hey, Nicole, can I do a scan, an in-body scan? I was like, sure, no problem. So she does an in-body scan, and she's like, I'm seeing results, but I'm not seeing them at the rate that I want. And I was like, you need to meet with Amanda. Are you ready to do nutrition coaching? And she's like, yes, I'm ready. So she gets started with you. Talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you worked on with her.
Yeah. And it was really fun working with Claudia, because you're right. Like, she is such a positive personality. And honestly, she had a lot of great things in place. Like, she was doing workouts consistently. She was doing the strength training, a lot of the things that we typically recommend. But on the food side, like, there were some things that we got to tailor a little bit. So specifically, we did focus on boosting her protein throughout the day. We reduced the amount of carbs and especially the amount of processed carbs she had throughout the day. And then we focused on boosting up the fiber. So actually, just the trifecta that we had just been discussing. And it was really cool to just see her transformation over we only worked together a few months, but like, she saw gains in muscle and loss of body fat, which is exactly what she was going for. And she just, she said she felt and she looked more nourished, which was, you can't put a number or a price on that.
Oh, I love that. She's a breath of fresh air. Talk to me about any other, maybe client scenarios that someone listening could be like, oh, that's me. That's me. What are some of the other kind of things that you've worked with clients going through menopause or postmenopause?
Yeah, sure. So on the post-menopause side of things, one client I actually worked with quite a while ago, she was, post-menopausal, and she was having a lot of issues with her nutrition because she wasn't sleeping well at night. She was waking up a lot during the night, having some hot flashes. Well, kind of digging into, lifestyle, she was having a glass or two of wine in the evenings. And alcohol is one of those things that is super enjoyable, may lower stress levels for the time being, but it really reduces our quality of sleep and it puts extra tax on the liver. So this is where we would see her waking up at night during that time that the liver does most of its processing. So once she cut out the alcohol, she's like, okay, I'll trust you. I'll try this for a couple of weeks. She cut out the alcohol and go figure, her sleep was a whole lot better, which just helped her make a lot better nutrition choices along the way too.
That's awesome. I think a simple tip for someone that's like, that sounds all well and good, but I really like my glass of wine at night. There's other alcohol replacements nowadays that have some really good things like ashwagandha in there. My favorite is Hyo. That was actually the first thing. So we just had our Gym Accelerator Summit, all the nutrition coaches and the HSN fam, all of our team and a bunch of people that are not necessarily a part of the HSN family came and gathered together in Nashville. And I brought a few cases of Hyo for our team to have at the end of every night. And they were gone first. I'm like, all right, note to self, next year we need to bring more because they're delicious. So just because you are not having alcohol doesn't mean that you can't have something to help you wind down at night.
100%. And yeah, I think the thing that I love about the Hyo too is like it has a little bit of a bite to it, like how alcohol has a bit of a bite. It has a bite, but it's not from alcohol. So it's kind of like you have that same kind of feeling along with it too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And kind of helping, it has adaptogens, right? Like, so actually it has adaptogens to help our HPA axis leak, come into more of a better place. And kind of thinking through one of my clients right now who's going through perimenopause, right? So that time of fluctuating weight. She specifically sees weight decreases on the scale when she manages her stress properly. So for her, it was kind of like getting to the bottom to wait. My weight fluctuates when I'm more stressed. Sometimes her eating doesn't even change. It's just literally that her body is holding on to that stress and those cortisol levels are skyrocketing. And she found the thing, like for her, doing yoga in the afternoons is super helpful for managing the stress of the workday and not bringing it into the evening time. Once she gets off of that pattern, then she sees the scale start to climb back up. So it's really interesting kind of being able to kind of think through, what is the stress management strategy that's going to pack the most bang for my buck. I probably don't have time to do like a whole stress management routine every day, but even if it's something that's 10 to 20 minutes and really impacts stress levels, can be a big game changer on the biometric side of things as well.
I'm reflecting back as we're talking all the things on this podcast, and I think 20% of what we have talked about is related to nutrition. And I think so many people, when they think about nutrition or weight loss, they automatically associate, I just need to change my nutrition. When in reality, most of what you've talked about is, all right, are we getting enough sleep? Are we managing our stress? Are we doing alcohol? While that is technically in the nutrition bucket, most people don't think, oh, me cutting out alcohol is going to directly impact the weight loss that I'm looking to have. So, as you're thinking about this, if you're listening to this podcast, I would challenge you to really think about a holistic framework addressing not only nutrition, but sleep, stress management, support system, because that's a huge piece of it too. The research shows if your significant other is doing the things with you, you're much more likely to stick with it. It's always good to have that in-house accountability as well as the accountability and support from a coach, which I think would be a fun conversation. Nutrition coaching, what people think nutrition coaching is, hey, I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to tell you what to do. And then you're going to go off and you're going to be on your own and do it. And that's the opposite of how we do things at Healthy Subs Nutrition. Amanda, talk to us a little bit about what it looks like with some of those clients that you've mentioned before. How do you work with them? What does the structure look like if I were to sign up and do a hormone specific individual coaching program with you?
Yeah, well, I love that. All of our clients start with an hour-long initial assessment. And this is really, really helpful for helping us to dive in on what the client's current lifestyle habits are and the goals that they're wanting to head towards, right? Like, what is their vision of success? And with that, of course, we run through a sample day of what your eating pattern looks like, the things that you're drinking throughout the day, but we also assess, exercise, support system, and all the other other aspects of the holistic framework that are going to help us see results. For example, one hormone focused client that I recently started with, she's like, you know what, my sleep is really bad. I work all these different shifts. Like, I need a wind down routine. That was her first step. So we basically go through and help you prioritize the things that are your lowest hanging fruit that you need to start out on. And then, of course, from there, we go in a step-by-step sequence so that we're not overwhelmed by anything. And we also make one change consistently. And we like to say consistent because consistent is where we see results. We want to see that consistently happening before we layer anything else onto the puzzle. And in the hormone context, we use a higher accountability level. So this is actually allowing for weekly sessions via Zoom or in person in order to address all these different changes in your lifestyle foundations. And then with that, we pair hormone-specific personal assessments and education too, which I'm super pumped. This is one of our newer resources that will have week by week lifestyle assessments to support your hormones from different aspects of lifestyle. So like 1 week, we'll be talking through the hormone pyramid, and clients will be able to kind of circle the things that they have in place and, you know, make a star on the things that they have yet to work on, right? It helps us kind of prioritize what we need to change. Be focusing on gut health, detoxification, inflammation, and blood sugar balance. And all of this is, you know, in that self-assessment format, which I think is like more powerful than me telling anyone anything, right? Like, you see the questions, you see what stands out for you, and then the coach can just help guide us along in those changes that are going to be most effective. And then along with that, we utilize the HSN app with working with clients. We have weekly video check-ins, and also on a regular basis, clients get videos with menopause-based education or hormone-based education, and also thought-provoking lifestyle tips and recipes. The recipes, HSN recipes, are fantastic and something that's accessible to everybody on our website. I know one of our clients who's seen fantastic success recently. She's in the postmenopausal phase, and she has been rocking her results. And, you know, she's been working together with her husband. So they have the social support aspect. She's been getting in the gym and swimming regularly. So she has the exercise component. And then she just really depends on the HSN recipes in order to have that balanced eating pattern. And it's like, if anyone thinks that they can't see results, you know, after menopause, like, she has been rocking it. So really, like, she's been inspiring to me and just like everyone else that, you know, if you're consistent with your habits, like, you can see changes too.
I know the client you were talking about, we were just together and she was with some of her friends and she's like, I've lost 25 pounds in just over 3 months. And I'm like, you get it, girl. Like, you've worked so hard. Talk to these people because I know your story will inspire someone else to take action. And the cool thing about her is that her husband's doing it with her, and they are such an amazing team supporting each other. And it's just really fun to watch them. And they are just such a positive light. So I'm so glad that I was able to sit down with them, talk to them, and they started with nutrition and CrossFit together to start seeing amazing results. So yeah, she raves about the recipes. We'll link some healthy recipes below this podcast because we need to get more people seeing those recipes. And we actually just added a ton of new ones, which are really awesome. So nutrition coaching, it's a 12-week commitment for the individual coaching program, includes Zoom calls weekly. They're a little bit shorter to do more check-ins. And then you have in-person follow-ups every single month. You also have those check-in messages at the end of every week to see, like, are you doing the things or are you not? So it's not just information. It's really a coach walking beside you, helping you keep accountable and helping you navigate the barriers that are going to come up. Because honestly, life happens and barriers come up and obstacles, and you want to be able to have someone to bounce ideas off of. So thank you for all that you do. You've done incredible work, and I'm so excited for you to share your knowledge with all of the Healthy Steps nutrition coaches. So this could be a bigger program in more nutrition coaching programs that are partnered with HSN, which is awesome. All right, as we wrap this up, I've got 2 last questions. One is, many people get on hormone replacement therapy when they are going through menopause. How does that impact their nutrition, their weight loss journey, what should they be thinking about?
Right. Great question. And that is, more and more common nowadays too. And that's a whole nother conversation in itself on, best practices. But yes, the cool thing about properly given hormone replacement therapy is that it can very much help with symptoms of menopause and perimenopause. So for example, like hot flashes, energy levels, mood, autoimmune like symptoms that sometimes pop up during perimenopause. Like these are the types of things that those hormone replacement therapies can help out with. Given that, basically our recommendations still apply to people on hormone replacement therapy as well as not. It may make them have a bit of an easier time to see progress, depending on what type of therapy they're having. But the things that we're recommending for anyone during that hormonal period is going to be helpful and beneficial for them as well.
Okay. So basically, just because you're on hormone replacement therapy doesn't necessarily mean that you should skip this, because it's still the foundation and we need to get all of those pieces in order as well. And a coach can help you figure out what are the missing pieces and build and work together with that hormone replacement therapy.
100%. Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, last question. One piece of advice, someone that is going through menopause or postmenopause, what is one piece of advice you would have for them?
Yeah. So I would say, get plugged into a community that will support you in consistently exercising. Build community around you, build your support system. And if you have people who are a positive influence in your life, foster that relationship and ask them to help you stay accountable to your steps forward. And also seek an accountability partner for nutrition and lifestyle. Don't be afraid to sweat and to build muscle. Like we talked about, I know my mom came from like the era of like, well, I don't want to sweat, but that's not going to help us with our goals, right?
You can sweat, especially if you're here in South Florida.
Exactly. Right. And especially, women in that phase, you're probably juggling a lot of things in life. I don't think I've worked with someone in that period of life who wasn't juggling a lot of things that might have been stressful or taking up a lot of their time. And a nutrition coach or a registered dietitian can help simplify this aspect of life for you. So it's kind of on the side of simplifying rather than complicating. And, if you think you're doing all the things and not seeing progress, this is why, we know that something needs to change.
Amazing. Well, Amanda, thank you for coming on, sharing all of your knowledge around hormones and menopause. And you do such amazing work with all of our clients. I'm excited for our nutrition and hormone specialist dietitian team here at HSN HQ to continue to grow and for you to continue to share your knowledge with Healthy Steps nutrition coaches. Thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Nicole. Thanks so much.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Amanda. It's pretty obvious that helping someone in this stage of life isn't just about nutrition. In fact, likely we need to be addressing stress management and sleep and all of those other pillars of the holistic framework. If you are thinking, man, I need some help, I need a guide to help me, I need someone to keep me accountable, I need a different perspective, we would love to help you. You can go to hireanutritioncoach.com to find a Healthy Steps nutrition coach near you, or you can go to healthystepsnutrition.com and apply for coaching with us today. You can click the link in the show notes for all of that information. Hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We'll see you back here soon.